Hey everyone, welcome back. It's David Cherry. Today I want to talk about how to know what type of business is right for you to start. How do you know what type of business is going to actually be something that's fulfilling and interesting to you? And we live in a time where there's so many people telling you about what type of business you should start. You could start an Etsy shop. You could start a social media agency. You could start a D2C business. You could start a technology company and build software. And it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to think that maybe you should keep switching industries or keep thinking about doing something different. The truth is, we won't really know until we get into trying something out. However, I think there's a few frameworks that might help you start to begin to understand how should I think about what type of business to start for me. And from my perspective, a lot of that comes down to understanding yourself and understanding what your true level of ambition is. I just was talking with a client of mine who went through Y Combinator, which is a accelerator, or it's the accelerator for building technology companies like Airbnb and all these major companies that you've heard about. And what was so interesting is that one of the things that he pointed out that could be helpful for you is that Y Combinator and that type of technology business is really for the 0.1%, meaning it is for the people who have a serious ambition to start a $100 million company, a $1 billion company. It is for people who are truly driven, and that means that they want to make a trade. To be in that 0.1%, there's a lot of things that you need to trade. You might need to trade where you live. You might need to trade who you work with. You might need to trade how many hours you work. And that trade might be, I'm going to spend and dedicate 80-hour weeks for the next 6-10 years because I am so bought in to the idea of building this massive business that is worth it to me. Myself, I work with a lot of business owners who are building $1 to $25 million businesses. And that's not exactly where they want to land. They say, hey, I don't necessarily feel like I need to build a $1 billion company. I don't need to be on the cover of Forbes. I'm happy with the trade of working 40-hour weeks, 50-hour weeks. I have a family that I want to spend time with. I care a lot about working remotely versus working in an office. And this is where you can start to think about what type of business will work well for you. Do you like to work alone, or do you get energized with a team around you? Do you want to work remote and travel the world, or do you want to be in one place? Maybe you're in New York City. You want to be really embedded into the business culture there, and you like going to an office where you can be surrounded by tons of people. So these are the deeper questions that we have to know about ourselves before we go into business, because it's possible that you can think that you want to be something that you don't actually want to be. And that happens because we see examples of people who are not us doing things that we don't actually want to do, that we sometimes think maybe we feel like we should be doing that. There's a should there. I should build that type of business. I should do it that way because that's what my friends do, or that's what the person I listen to on podcasts and YouTube does. And so the reality is to be sustainable, which is the only real way to have lasting success, is to sustainably build success. And that means understanding, if I was to spend the next 5 years on this, if I was to spend the next 10 years on this, is that the type of thing that I want to use my next 5 or 10 years on? If the answer is yes, then you can take the time that's necessary and put in the work that's necessary and make out the certain trade-offs that are necessary to get the outcomes that you want. So while the world is always changing, while there's always new opportunities, it really does help to understand what is it about me that doesn't change so much, so that I can actually focus on creating a structure of work, a business, that allows me to participate in that for the long term. And sustainability, I think, is often overlooked. I meet with plenty of people, and I've had this experience myself, where stress starts to take over. And that stress grinds you down in such a way that you might quit a project that you put a lot of work into but never really got the return. And that's a really tough spot to be in as an entrepreneur, as someone who's putting in tons of work for a few years, but then is burning out and can't actually get through that dip to get to the other side and potentially have an exit or get a lot of liquidity from the company. So today, just start to consider, if I could build a sustainable lifestyle around my work, what would that look like? What are the rules and the barriers and the constraints that I really care about? Do I care about flexibility? Do I care about consistency? Do I want to work with other people? All these questions that'll help you understand what business is right for you. So don't just think about the market opportunity, because there's always market opportunity. And the truth is, the people who stick with something for long enough are the ones who capture the market opportunity. So that the opportunity won't go away. It's really, can I stay with it? And that answer is about understanding yourself and what you're wanting. So I hope this helps you think about what business is right for me, and take some time and look at what would be very sustainable for me for the long run so that I can actually get success. That's all for today. I hope you're having an amazing week, and I'll talk again very soon. Later.